Okay, I'm going to share a slide now. Hopefully you can see that. Mrs. Brown, can you give us a thumbs up if you can see that okay?
Welcome to Junior School, and our school motto, as I'm sure you know, is very simple. We like to keep things very straightforward so that everybody can remember them, and it's try more, learn more, and achieve more. And basically the idea behind it is just to make the most of every single opportunity you're given. Try things out. Don't worry if you don't achieve fantastically at everything, because it's just worth having a go and widening your experience, your whole experience of life, really. So what we're trying to aim tonight is to give you an update on the transition. The process has already been taking place, and Miss Ramsey will go through what the Year 3 teachers have been doing and how we've already started welcoming your children to join us at Northmead. Some very important information on what actually happens when you start. The first few days, go through those just to put everybody's minds at rest, and then some general information, and then an opportunity for people to ask any questions that you may have at the end. Then just some of the people who, we're not all going to be here tonight. So Miss Lewis is my deputy head, and I'm sure you've seen her out and about around the school. Mrs. Stocking the Senko, she's the lady who is running all things to do with special needs. If you have any questions, any queries, ring up and we can get an appointment made for her with you straight away. Mrs. Cook plays a very, very important role in our school. She's the homeschool link worker. She has a dual role. So she has a role working with the children in school. So she will run some programs, for example, if children would like some help with friendship issues, maybe they need some help supporting them with their self-esteem, and she'll play games with them, run workshops and help with those, only after consultation with you and with your permission. So you would know if anything like that was happening. Also, she has a worry box, a bit like a red post box on the wall outside of her room. And we encourage the children, if they have any worries or any concerns, just to make a note of it. Doesn't matter how big, how small, put it in this post box, and then she will catch up with them over the next couple of days, have a meeting, talk things through with them. Another important role is her role in supporting you as parents. And we've got a very much open door policy at Northmead. So if you want to pop in and see her or give her a ring, have a chat, maybe just something's been happening in your household over the summer, you've moved house, there's been some problems with pets or something much bigger than that, and you think it would be for the benefit of your child and their learning if we knew about this as a school, she would be a very good lady to ring up and have a chat to about it. So that's Mrs. Cook, homeschool link worker, and we'll give you much more information about the rest of the staff as the evening goes on. Is the Year 3 team. Miss Ramsey, your children will have already met these people. So Miss Ramsey is going to be leading Year 3 again, very pleased to say, for this year. Mrs. Backhurst also works in Year 3, and Miss Busby. They're the main team, and then they have teaching assistants who work in the classroom who will support them as well. Okay, Miss Ramsey, over to you for some more details.
Thank you. So as Mrs. Brown said, we're going to just highlight the things we've done already to support your children in their transition, because we know it's a big step for them. Obviously, starting in reception is a big enough step, but moving on to a new school when they're already a bit more aware of their friendships and things can be really tricky. So we've started off by talking a lot to the Year 2 teachers. We have lots of meetings with Stoughton and the other feeder schools, and we spend a long time getting to know the children academically, friendship-wise, everything like that. So we've had a delightfully long meeting with the Year 2 teachers, discussing all your lovely children, which was really nice to get to know them. Then your children have already been on one visit to Northmead. They came last week and had a lovely time outside playing in the grounds. We did a short tour of the school, and then we played a couple of games and had a nice chat with their class teachers. We've actually never let them know their classes that early, but we felt it would actually get them a little bit more prepared for September to start off by telling them their classes. So your children will have brought home a little slip last week saying which class they're in, and hopefully our email in case you wanted to email us. And then on Monday, they're going to pop back in the morning this time. Similar sort of setup. We're going to spend half of the time in the classroom, actually getting to know their classroom environment shortly. and having another tour of the outside area and a play in the middle, because we love to have a play when we're welcoming new children. There's also some video tours on a link that we sent you a letter very, very early June. So if you want to have another look around the rest of the school, because unfortunately we've not been able to invite you in quite in a usual way, there's some tours on our YouTube page there. And then in September, we're welcoming you on our inset day just before the children go back the next day on the Friday, and this is on a slide later. We'd like everyone to pop in just for a cup of tea and a hello just the day before. We find it really settles the nerves to have been the day before. You've kind of got over the first day of school nerves if you just pop in with your families. Maybe that's at 2:30 on the Thursday, but that's on a slide in a second. So most importantly, what does your child need when they come to us? Here's a uniform list. Hopefully the information about school trends got through okay. Anything else you need, we've got lots and lots of second-hand uniforms, so we can always help out with that. There's lots in school, but here's just a list. It's exactly the same as in the welcome book. Just to reiterate, we pride ourselves in very smart, lovely red jumpers, and they always look absolutely gorgeous and ready for learning when they turn up in their shiny new red jumpers, which is lovely. And one massive request is please, please, please name everything, either with a sew-in label or a Sharpie that you check it doesn't wash out, because they do eventually. So if we could ask that you name every piece of uniform, especially jumpers, that would be really, really helpful. Then just a little note about if your child takes any medication, any inhalers or EpiPens. We actually have what we call a green box, which is our first aid box in the classroom, where any inhalers or EpiPens or anything like that's kept, that the children know where it is, but we always supervise their access to it. That stays with a little first aid kit we have in our classrooms, and any children that have EpiPens, that class adult will have training in EpiPen giving. And there's a special form that the office asks you to fill in if there's any extra medication. For example, if you have some antibiotics or something your child needs to take, there's a specific form we ask you to fill in at the office. So if that happens, please contact our office, hopefully not. And then, as I said earlier, the first day of term, it's quite nice. It's actually on a Friday this year, which will mean they've only got one day of the week to get through. So we ask that you actually drop them off and check that they find their class teacher on the first day. So we will come out at 8:45 just for the first day to make sure that the children all know where they're going. And we sort of gather as a little group on the playground, we'll blow a little whistle, and then we'll walk them in, and they could give you a massive smile and you can sneak off home for a cup of tea. But that's at 8:45, which is slightly different to the school day timings, which we'll go through in a second, but that's just a first day request. So we spend sort of the first 2 to 3 weeks really settling the children. We make sure they're feeling really settled in their new classes, getting to know their new friends. And we spend a lot of time learning things like our learning to learn characters, all about the school and making sure they really understand the rules and routines in our school. We sneak in a few assessments and things like that. And we sneak in setting up the high expectations for learning, but they really sort of enjoy the first few weeks just to get them settled in. And we gradually build it up to a working pattern. So this is just a quick daily timetable. There's a breakfast club that's offered over at Stoughton, and we have a member of staff walk the children over when that's finished before school day starts. We're asking at 8:30 for the children to arrive, and it's sort of a come in between 8:30 and 8:50. We like to try and take the register sort of 8:45, 8:50 sort of time. So they've got a little time where they can come in and complete some morning work. We often have a spelling sheet and a timetable sheet out on their desks, which they're very used to. And then they have a reading book. So it's quite a nice way. They have a very standard thing to do in the morning. Then once we've taken our register, we will have English, which will include reading and spelling, all in our classes. So they feel really settled. And then obviously break and assembly time. Then between assembly and lunch, we will do our maths lesson. And then lunch will be at 12:15 with a break after. And then we have our afternoon lessons and home time at 3:05 with some optional after school clubs for an hour after school. And lots more details will come out about that in September. So in the morning, the breakfast club is, as I said, over at Stoughton. If the children walk in from 8:30 onwards, they're going to complete their morning work, and we will be in the classroom waiting for them. It's a very standard start to the day, and they get very used to their routines. They often come in, they wash their hands, they get their water bottle out, find their pencil case, everything's ready for them in the classroom, and it really sets them up for a calm day at that time. Then we have our English lesson, where we're taught in classes. Children obviously in the centre will then go off to Mrs. Jeffrey and Mrs. Stocking in the centre. And we in the mainstream will work through a read, write, ink spelling scheme, which we use for all our spelling, which is fantastic. Our guide to reading activities and any English lessons we have. Then we will have assembly, which is a range of things, including some singing, some news updates, any celebrations or achievements, visitors, that kind of thing. We do that on a rotational basis. And then we have break. We ask that children don't bring any toys into school, only because it always ends up not going so well. So if you could encourage them to not bring anything in, please, that would be fantastic. And we have lots of a variety of things to play on. And also we've got a lovely trim trail, not brand new, very new gym we have, which they absolutely love, getting some exercise at break time. We have this massive all-weather, as you can see, pitch, a lovely climbing frame, and lots and lots of toys that the children can play with in school. We ask that you provide your child, if they would like one, with a fruit or vegetable snack, and that means no fruit winders or anything that children think is fruit. We ask for an actual piece of fruit, cut up if you wish, whatever you'd like. Lots of them chop it up and put it in a little pot, but actual fruit or veg, please. And you can explain that one to your children because they never understand it when we say, no, mushed up fruit doesn't count. So I'll leave that one to you. Then after breaks and assembly, we have maths, which is taught in our classes. We use a mixture of Maths No Problem and White Rose, which are really great schemes to give like a basis to our maths. We focus a lot on concrete materials, then moving on to actually drawing pictures to help them with their understanding. And we kind of make sure that everyone is included in maths, whatever level they're at. It's very much you are within the same maths lesson, which they absolutely love maths when they get to Northmead. And obviously children that are in the centre at that point will be in the centre with Mrs. Jeffrey and Mrs. Stocking during their maths lesson. Just a little note on times tables. We really push times tables. It's such a vital skill at Northmead. So we have this scheme where they can earn badges. They get very excited in their lessons. You can see it on the screen here, we've got a purple badge, which is the 2s, 5s and 10s, which is hopefully things they've learned in year 2, if not will shortly when they get to year 3. We aim to kind of get bronze by the end of year 3, working on silver. And then by the end they can get to gold, which is very exciting. They look so smart with their badges lined up on their t-shirts and jumpers. It's all about the recall and accuracy of their times tables and division facts. So that's just a little message. And there's really nice certificates we hand out, and we do a big celebration when everyone gets their badges, which is quite exciting. And then
Mrs. Ramsey,
oh, yes, sweetheart.
I'm really good at timetables.
Perfect. I can't wait to see that in September. That's really exciting.
Sorry, I put us on mute.
That's okay. So at lunchtime this year, we've actually been working with having our lunches in our classrooms, which has worked incredibly well. So we've decided to start off in September with that. The lunch ladies pack up our lunches in our little boxes and deliver it to our classrooms. And actually, it's going to be really helpful for the new children to feel really settled with them not going down to the dining hall, because then everything happens in their classroom. So whether your child has school dinners or packed lunches, they will be in the classroom with our class TA or myself or their class teacher, which is quite nice for the children because it's not another hurdle to get through at the beginning of September by going down to the dining hall and finding another place. So that will be quite settling for them. We have a 3-week rota that gets put on the website. It comes up under the calendar section, so you can check what's on offer for that day. Tends to be a hot choice, cold choice, vegetarian choice, and there's quite often like a baguette with a ham or cheese. And these can be picked some days and not other days. So your child can have 2 days of school dinners, then a packed lunch. Then on a Thursday morning, you can decide with your child whether they would like packed lunch or school dinner. As long as they know when it gets to register time what they're having, we don't mind them swapping and swapping between. We just ask if you do send packed lunches that it's a healthy choice, no fizzy drinks, sweets and chocolates, and the most important is absolutely no nuts. We are entirely a nut-free school, so absolutely no nuts, please. Then during the afternoon, they complete a variety of different lessons, things like some science, computing in our computing studio, art and design and technology, music, French, history, geography, PE and PSHE, and they're on a kind of rota. We do some of them most weeks and others every other week, and they absolutely love those lessons. It kind of draws on the skills they've been learning in the morning, and they absolutely love them. And And these are our main topics. So in the beginning of the year, we start off with what's under our feet, and we learn all about rocks and soils, structure of the earth, volcanoes and earthquakes, fossils, and a little bit on dinosaurs. So I absolutely love it. And in the spring term, we learn about the rainforest. We do a history study of the Maya civilization, and we learn about life in Belize and compare that to how it's different to our country. And then in the summer term, we learn about Stone Age to Iron Age, where we learn about the past and how clues from artifacts can help us learn about where we are and why we're here today. PE is now going to be on a Wednesday. That wasn't in the welcome booklet, so if you could write that one down, that would be fantastic. So basically the children come in wearing their PE kits. We found it's really, really helpful because they don't spend time losing things and getting changed and getting confused whose t-shirt's who. So we ask that they wear their PE kit all of Wednesday. They absolutely love it. And it's really, really helpful because it means our PE time is used to the maximum. So PE kits, please, on Wednesday. And we ask that any earrings are not worn for PE. We can't do tape and things like that. So if they could be taken out for Wednesdays, please. And if for any reason your child is unable to participate, if you could send us a note to explain why, that would be really helpful. Just a quick note on swimming. We're trying to book it. We're hoping for a Friday, fingers crossed, but we'll confirm as soon as possible. And each class basically gets a term swimming each, and we're hopefully going to start with 3B. So if your child is in 3B, can you just be prepared? There might be a message early September about swimming for the first term. But we will update you as soon as we get replies from the spectrum. Then reading comprehension, this is something we really focus on at the moment. We have found that a lot of children come up from Stoughton going, yay, I can read, I'm a really good reader, or I'm a free reader, which is absolutely fantastic, and their enthusiasm is brilliant. We just wanted to highlight to you that we spend a lot of time working on the comprehension of books, and lots of children come up as super, super readers, but we've realised they're not actually quite understanding what they are reading. So we have a scheme called Accelerated Reader, which assesses their comprehension of a book, and we use our library books as a basis to do weekly quizzes on that, and then a longer test which basically checks their comprehension of different new texts given to them. This will provide them with a new colour band, and those colours, just to let you know, don't match up at all with infant schools. It's a completely new system that actually goes into secondary school age, and they will feel completely different to your child because it will be a book that they feel they can read, which is actually really helpful because it means that us in school and you at home can work on their comprehension skills rather than their word reading. We tend to go to the library once a week and help the children choose books, but they're also able to change them at other times. And we encourage wider reading as well. So these are kind of our comprehension books that we give as homework, but there is lots and lots of other reading opportunities, massive class libraries and other options in the library for them to choose as well. Then we have the end of the day. So the electronic gates this year will open at 3 o'clock because school is going to finish for year 3 and 4 at 3:05. And we ask that children are collected from the playground by a known adult. And if there's anything really important, like somebody can't collect your child, or it's really important that we know a certain person must collect your child, if you could pop it in writing to us, I know it sounds silly, many of you will tell us when you first see us, but if you could pop it in writing, that'd be really, really helpful. Just so we've got a record of who can and can't. If it's just a case of mum or granny can come pick up and the child knows that person, that's absolutely fine. And we tend to stand, if you can see this picture, I don't know if you see my mouse, just under Mrs. Brown's window, which is this one here on the left. We tend to stand just under there. So when you come to pick up your child at the end of the day, we will be stood there as class teachers and we ask the children to just say, I can see my adult, and then we wave the children off. So please be prepared to keep an eye out for us there. Any clubs finish an hour after school, and all the information about that will come out in September from the office. And then a little note on homework. We ask that the children spend at least 3 reads a week for a maximum of about 15 minutes reading with you. Now that could be they read to you, it could be you ask them questions about their book, but the focus is really on the comprehension after the reading. So for a lot of children, that might mean that they actually read a chapter by themselves if it's a book you know, or they read some to you and then you discuss the book as well. We issue spellings and times table sheets, and these are on Google Classroom this year. And in September, you'll be given all the information about Google Classroom and how to get on there. And basically, your child will be given a specific group spelling or a specific level of times table to work on. And you can either print these off or ask us to print them in school, and they work on them, and then you can snap a picture back. Hopefully you've had something like this before, so we can have a look at how they're doing. And that all gets uploaded to Google Classroom for us to have a look at on Monday. And then new homework's always issued on a Monday too. So it's quite nice that it's always on a Monday. It's easier for everyone to remember. And then after the first half term, so from October onwards, we issue a half-termly project. This could be something like road safety, could be something to do with our history topic. It could be a PSHE link. We give a little task that could be making a model, it could be making a PowerPoint, it could be learning some facts about something, just to enhance their learning and get you involved in it. And the children absolutely love sharing these in class. We often upload them to Google Classroom and share them across the year group, which they really, really love. Sometimes it's photos of models, sometimes children record themselves presenting things as a news presenter or something like that. And they absolutely love the kind of fun element of doing something different with their families, which is really lovely. And we have very high expectations of behaviour. We've got a new, very, very simple behaviour strategy, which is be ready, be safe, and be respectful. And we think everything that we want to instill in the children kind of fits under those three titles. So we encourage the children to be polite, calm, respectful, by adults who are kind, calm, and sometimes assertive, not often needed though. We use something called Kelso's Choices, and your children will learn about this in the first week. And he's this little frog. He's often coloured green, and we instill on the children that they are able to sort some of the smaller friendship problems by using 2 of Kelso's choices. And then if it's a bigger problem, or it's somebody's actually getting hurt or something quite serious, then we would like to help. So we kind of develop that independence as they start year 3. Another little note about house teams. So we have 4 house teams, and if your children have already gone through Northmead or you've got older siblings, we try and keep those in the same house. So they could be part of Jupiter, Mars, Neptune, or Saturn. And we do lots of house competitions. Like next week, we've got a dodgeball competition. We've had pancake races in the past. Any sports days, things like that, work towards their house points. Children also earn house points as rewards in class for good behaviour, working hard, fantastic presentation, that kind of thing. We count those up and celebrate which house is doing the best. We have lots of extracurricular activities. We are very, very keen to make sure that children have opportunities in music and sport. We have lots of external providers like Boogie Pumps, Planet Soccer, Surrey Arts for music, and Rock and Pop. We run lots of clubs ourselves, for example, football clubs, netball clubs, tag rugby, gymnastics. We run a choir that goes to the O2 and do live each year. And there's opportunities, hopefully, that came home to you in the June packet of information about booking peripatetic music lessons. I would suggest you get those quite early because they seem to be filling up quite quickly. But all the other club information will come out early September. We also enhance the usual curriculum with Fantastic Fridays, non-curricular weeks, etc. So we tend to give a variety of skills, things like, as you can see here, balloon modelling, painting. We've done lots of different workshops with children where all members of staff provide a activity that the children may enjoy, and then they get to choose which ones they would like to have a go at. So we do those throughout the year on Fridays, called them Fantastic Fridays, which makes them fun. And then in the summer term, we run a whole week. So next week, we're doing a grounds week, where we're spending an entire week outside doing activities. Lots of visitors are coming in. We're visiting our pond and our animals, and going to spend a lovely week outside in the sunshine. So if you'd like to be involved, we encourage everyone to be part of their child's education. It's certainly not our job, it's everybody's job. So there's lots and lots of things throughout the year for you to be involved in. It might be school trips, it might be reading with children, supporting our fantastic NST, which stands for Northmead Supporters Team, or becoming a parent governor. So many parents are regular visitors to school, and we regard parents as co-workers with the school staff in the education of our children. And then a few little things we'd like you to work on before September if possible. So do lots and lots of reading. As I said earlier, 2s, 5s and 10s times tables. Any work on that would be amazing. There's 100 high frequency words, which hopefully you're familiar with from your infant schools. Learn to tie our shoelaces if you don't want to send Velcro in. And another random thing that always really helps the children in September, it sounds really silly, but practice using a ruler to make some straight, neat lines. We always find children don't know how to use a ruler when they get to September. So if you could do those little things in September, that would be fantastic. And then last but not least, this is the way you can contact us as class teachers. So the first one's 3R, which is my class, Miss Ramsey's class. The next one is 3B, which is Mrs. Backhurst. And then Miss Busby came after Mrs. Backhurst, so it's 3N for her email. And anything to go to the office is info@northmead.surrey.sch.uk. And we can help you over the summer with anything you need. And then the last thing is the date for the coffee afternoon, which is Thursday, the 2nd of September at 2:30. And it's just a really informal pop along with your child to get them ready for the next day type thing. And thank you very much. Remember, if you've got any questions, we are very, very happy to answer them now, or you can email us if you think about them later. But it's been really lovely just whizzing through all that information very quickly. I feel like I've talked for an awfully long time with some key information. If you have any questions, feel free to stay. If not, thank you so, so much for coming. And we look forward to seeing your children on Monday and all of you in September.
Thank you.
That was anything else the next couple of days. Just give us a ring and we'll.
I think that was absolutely fantastic. Can I ask you just a couple of questions?
Of course, absolutely.
The coffee afternoon, my youngest he'll be on insert days in Stoughton. Is it okay if I bring him and Lily?
As long as you
Absolutely
supervise.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, of course I'll supervise. They're not feral most of the time.
No, do bring them, no problem at all.
He'll be coming to your school in a couple of years, so it'd be really nice for him to see.
Yeah, lovely.
Very familiar with it.
We're aiming to have it all outside in the fresh air, which will be nice too. Hopefully it'll be
amazing. Second question, where can I get a hold of these 100 words? Because I don't know what they are.
That's no problem. If you literally Google 100 high frequency words, it comes up really, really easily. If not, I'm sure schools will have them. I can also post a link. Probably the easiest way is to our Facebook or Twitter. I don't know if anyone's on that. I can post a link saying, good luck, Kitty. It's really helpful if they can read and start spelling before they get to us. It's very simple words like the, and, because. Words that they're
it's fine. I'm really happy to do it. It's just I want to make sure I get the right words. Otherwise I'll just be like guessing which ones.
They're quite a well-known thing. So if you just type in 100 high frequency words, you should be able to find them.
Okay, we can play those games over summer. Awesome.
And I'll whack you back a copy in an email if you just email me and remind.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. But it's really exciting. I love how much focus you've got on really pushing their education. It's lovely to hear, having not had a tour. It's just like, wow, this is really good. So
to be able to get you in soon, we hope that if things do start to relax, we hope when you come in you'll be able to have a sneaky look round. So we hope things will improve.
It's more your ethos that is so interesting to me, and it's exciting, and I think it's made me feel really good. I mean, Lils is already excited, but that's it's awesome to hear. Thank you.
It's nice to have everybody involved. It's good.
Thank you to Emmett for sending the link to the high frequency words. That's a page we use quite often.
Excellent.
That's perfect.
Amanda, did you have a question?
Yeah, hi. The clubs after school, do they cost money or they?
Some of them do. Some of them do if we have outside coaches come in. But if they're the ones that are taken by our school staff, they don't cost any money.
Right. Okay.
So we'll make that clear when the list comes out, which ones are to be paid for and which ones are done by our staff.
Right. Okay. Angelina wanted to ask a question, if that's okay.
When you do we have insect day, or when they do their coffee club, do our kids get to play?
Of course, you come say hello to your new friends and play with them. As long as mummies allow you to, that's absolutely fine.
So,
Give you a chance to meet all your friends you might not have seen over the summer. So
We
it's
have
nice to
Lily
come
here.
in.
What can I say, Mummy?
okay. All right, thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Mrs. Brown,
Angelina.
I think you used to teach my daddy when he was
Probably.
little.
Probably. It's
He
really
told
nice.
me that
It's very
did.
nice meeting some of your mummies and daddies that I used to teach. It's really good fun. See you in September.
I've got a question. Hi. I've got two actually. The first one was, did you say, I think you mentioned a welcome booklet or something.
Yes,
Did you say
should
that?
be
Is that-
coming home with your children Monday. Fingers crossed the printer
okay.
sends it to us. If not, we'll have to post it out shortly after or send it via Stoughton. We're hoping the children can come home with a little welcome booklet on Monday. Fingers crossed.
Cool. Sorry, I thought I might have missed that. Thank you. And the second question was, on the first day, if they want to have some dinners, how do we set that up? How do we set that up? That by the website.
As long as they tell us, our office will catch up with setting you up on Parent Mail, but hopefully you should get a link to Parent Mail very early September, fingers crossed. But if not, don't worry, we will not let your child starve. If they tell us you need some, we will make sure they get one and we can sort it out after.
Sorry, I think our internet completely froze at that point. I missed it all. I think that's wasn't it? Do we? Sorry, it just literally froze. Do we need to pay for it in advance? How do I do that?
If you get the link to Parent Mail, so it should be a link through Parent Mail with all the details on there. You should get that hopefully early September. Depends on what your account's like over at Stoughton, how they link them. If not, do not fear, we will not let your child starve. So please just say and we can sort it out after. The office will manage to contact you, don't worry.
Thank you. Oh, and on Parent Mail, sorry, 2A. Does it magically, we've kind of set it like we've obviously got Parent Mail at Stoughton, will it magically transfer over? So
often we can send a link across that should work, but there are a few families that often find the first few days of September they're nipping into the office saying, please could you help me link it up? The office are the absolute experts, I'm afraid. I'm not an expert on Parent Mail. I don't know about you, Mrs. Brown.
No, but some of them have started sorting it out already from the office, so I know it works quite quickly once it gets going.
cool.
So
Thank you. Nice to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just ask how much the school dinners are going to cost?
The top of my head, £2. Do you know, Mrs. Brown?
Yeah, it's £2.50.
So how much?
£2.50.
Rings a bell. I'll just double check our website quickly. I'm sure it's on there. It's a very good question.
And you said you could just pay sort of each day if you don't want it every day, or
yeah, you can put an amount on the credit sort of thing on the system, and then the children just use it up, and when it gets to a low level you'll just get a little notification saying your child's running out. It seems to be £2.45 from the 1st of September 2021.
okay,
Thank
you.
It's fine. So hopefully
It's one of these systems that when it gets going, it works really well. It just sounds a bit confusing to begin with, but you can just go onto Parent Mail and you just put it in like a shopping basket and say how much you want to pay, and then it tops up your account. So it does work quite well.
Perfect.
On Parent Mail, the school dinners don't come up under the shopping basket like normal things. They come up under the account setting on here. So you have to go to accounts to top up. It's the only thing you can't buy on the shopping basket, which is unlike Stoughton, which is always on the shopping basket.
right.
I've got a quick question. Emmett said he has a question.
Are we going to have show and tell?
Well, because of COVID this year, we've not been able to have it, but we do welcome, which I really, really enjoy, sending pictures of things via email to us, and then we put them up on the screen really, really big. But if it's something seriously, seriously exciting that you've got to show, of course you could bring it in. We tend to do that on a Friday, just before the weekend. But the best thing you can do is email in a picture. Like today, we had a really nice picture of someone's brand new bunny come up on the screen, really, really big. And it was so lovely to see because then everyone can see it. and we can even share it across the year group. So if it's a picture thing, that would be even better. Is that all right?
Cool. Yeah. I just wanted to ask. It's not something that you can answer, but I've ordered the school uniform already, but it hasn't arrived. I was just wondering whether anyone else has ordered it and how long it takes to arrive. I've
5
heard
weeks.
5 weeks.
I ordered mine 2 weeks ago and it came on Monday.
Oh, okay. Because I've definitely ordered mine. Mine's been about 3 weeks now, at least.
Yeah, it took mine 5 weeks, and I think on the website it does say it can take about 5 weeks.
Okay.
So don't worry, it will get there. I was starting to panic, but it's good. It's here. It's in a wardrobe now.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions?
Sorry, one quick question. I've got a son at Staunton as well. The finishing time, so they're going to be sort of slotted in, so I'll be able to do both schools. What happens if he's not finished till 3 o'clock? You won't let Archie go till I'm there.
No. What we said, we put out on our newsletter. We're keeping our time staggered until half term in October. So we're going to have 3, 4 finishing at one time and 5 and 6 finishing at another time. And then when we see how things are going in the area in October half term, then we'll review the finishing times. But if you need to pick up a younger one, always go and pick your younger child up first, and we will supervise your older child until you get there.
Oh,
so
lovely.
We'll keep them safely at Northmead for you, so no problem.
Thank you.
I just had a question. My son, we believe, has a touch of attention deficit, and I'm slightly concerned about, him sitting down and learning. I think you do 90-minute sessions or something like that, I've heard. I'm just a bit nervous about him sitting down and concentrating for that long, because I think that could go horribly wrong for him. Are there any sort of special arrangements if they do have a touch of ADHD or anything like that?
Of course, we tend to break up.
We have lots of arrangements, yeah.
There's lots of things like buckets full of fiddle toys, that sort of thing. But if you want to email in, Mrs. Stocking's the one to email. She'll be very, very good at helping out with any extra things. But our timetable is so much that there's big chunks of learning, but they're broken up into smaller chunks throughout the day as well. Lots of
super. Thank you. Thanks.
Very welcome.
I have one other question, sorry. Staunton has 2 entrances, the back entrance and the front entrance, but Northmead only has the one entrance, correct? Okay, so, and it's expected that you kind of take them to the entrance and they enter the school on their own. You kind of drop them off at the gate and then they do all of that themselves. Okay.
Walk them down to the playground if you'd like to.
Yeah, we ask that you do.
It's not a problem.
But it's totally up to you after that first day. Yeah. The first day we kind of like you to drop them physically off with one of us. Yeah. From then on, it's at the top of the drive or walk them down onto the playground, whichever you prefer.
Okay, it's just I think with the Staunton, one of the reasons I'm not too keen on dropping off at the gate is because I know there's that back entrance, and it's kind of the fact that they could walk all the way through and exit again without me knowing. Not that I think you would, but it's kind of nice to know that there's only one entrance to the school. Yeah, okay, thank you.
We have senior members of staff on the playground every morning, and you're just saying good morning to the children and having a chat. So when they come in, they just literally go down the windy path, make their way into their classroom. It's just like a gradual procession into the school. They don't go anywhere else. It is quite straightforward, but you're more than welcome to bring them down if you like. There's plenty of room. We've got a huge playground.
Lovely, thank you.
There's room down there.
Thank you.
Hi. You mentioned you were going to make the presentation available for people that weren't able to see it. How will we get hold of that?
I'm going to put it on the YouTube channel along with all the other transition videos that were sent, so I can just upload it to that same link and hopefully you can find it. It's a little bit difficult before you're officially on all our parent mail, so we just ping you an email with it. So if you don't mind passing on to everybody that it's on the same link as the other one, hopefully I'll be able to record this version. If not, it'll just be a version that's just the PowerPoint, but fingers crossed it's working okay. And I shall upload that in a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're gonna head off because it's bedtime. But thank you very much.
Thank you very much
great
for coming.
learning all of that.
Thank you all very much for coming. As I say, if you think about anything else, just give us a ring, drop us an email. We're more than happy to answer anything. We want to make this as smooth a transition as possible for you and for your children. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Smelly.
Oh, did you hear that?